welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Freda, and friends, it's another day. I was supposed to have a podcast interview with a guest, and actually, they bailed on me. I was sitting in the Zoom room waiting, and I gave them 15 minutes, and I was like, I'm out of here. But I was in the mental mindset that I was going to record a podcast, so let's pull out Diana Cooper's Angels of Light Oracle deck. We're going to give those a shuffle. We're going to find out what the word of the day is, and we're going to tell a story. So let's see. What is most advantageous for the collective to hear at this time? What shall we do a story around today? I just want it to pop out. Be really easy to know. All right, the word of the day is patience. Oh man, patience is not, it's something that I really, genuinely, truly am working on in my life. All right, here we go. Patience. Trust the higher forces of life to know what is best for you. And remember that when you are asked to wait, you are being prepared for something even better than what you expected. So change your attitude to one of acceptance. Relax and take stock. Ask your angels to enfold you during this waiting period so that you can listen to the promptings of the divine. Do not rush off on some wild goose chase of your lower will. When the time is right and you are ready and refreshed, the next door will open. Patience is always rewarded. And the affirmation on the card is, all things happen at the perfect time. I have experienced this so many times, like the one thing that we can genuinely count on in life. It's like, they say like death and taxes or whatever, but also it's like the divine timing in all things. With the healing work that I have done over the years, we cannot put a clock on spirit. Like incredible amounts of change. We cannot know when we will be healed. People with like the type A personality of like, go get it, heal it, grab it, knock it out of the park. We're just going to get in there and we're going to do this. We're going to pull all of this stuff out of our systems. And I have this timeline, and by this date, I am going to be absolutely healed. And none of this will affect me anymore. And rah, 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 rah. That is not life, and it does not work that way. I know that on my healing journey, there have been times when I have attacked my healing with such incredible vigor. I'll go in and I'll just grab it like a dog with a bone and shake it and shake it and shake it. And it is not until God's will, until the divine, until the unique timing of the all that is says, yes, now, the fairy wand comes down and says, and now this, that do these things fall into place. So it is our job to be patient in our work that we're doing, in our inner work, to be patient and just allow the unfolding. Because the beauty and life and the now is in the unfolding of the all that is. So as life unfolds and happens for us, as hard as it is to be patient, we are just living our day to day, taking the one aligned action step after the next, and holding that big dream or what we believe that we're walking towards, holding that in our mind, body, spirit, but then being patient for the things to fall into place in order to actually see these things manifest in our physical reality. And often what we think that we want is not actually the way things unfold. When we get into the magic and flow of the universe, often it will bring us something even better than our wildest dreams, even better than what we could have imagined. When I when I first started healing, all I wanted was peace in my heart. All I was seeking was like this inner peace. And then I found it. That fell into place. And it was like, what do I even want next? What is that next thing? And ultimately, through the books that I was reading and the healers that I was working with and listening to spirit and being in nature, ultimately what it came down to is this sort of like, universe, bring me something that delights my mind, body, and spirit. Work through me in a way that delights my mind, body, and spirit. And is of service to the world, because I want to be of service. That is something that's very important to me. I want to be needed. I want to be wanted. I want to be useful. And what Spirit brought was me beginning to channel and then learning to be a semi-trans voice channel. And I got to tell you, I didn't see that one coming. When I am working with Elisabeth, when I am channeling, when she is coming through, it is so delightful. It incredibly energizes me. I love working with her. I don't feel alone anymore. And I could not have seen this coming. It is better than my wildest dream. And ultimately what I would like to do with this is I would like to work in a room of a bunch of people and channel for them. I would love to allow Elisabeth to answer questions and bring through frequency and help people energetically with their healing. As a start, that's a start. I don't know where it's going to go from there. But like, I would not have arrived at that if I wouldn't have guessed it. But by just showing up with the one aligned action step after the next, where it brought me was to this place where, oh, I'm a semi-trans voice channel. Now we studied that, and now that's what we're up to. So there was having a patience with my life and just saying like, allowing it space and breathing room and allowing it to be okay that I didn't actually really even know what I wanted. And to tell you the truth, I still don't in so many ways. I still really, really don't know what's happening a lot of the time. There's a level of me having patience with myself as I navigate my aging body and navigate my physical appearance and navigate putting myself out there in this way where I'm channeling on the internet with my eyes closed. I kind of brought Elisabeth forward and jumped out there excited and enthusiastic about it. And I kind of threw myself out there a little bit maybe too soon for my nervous system, because what it did was it made me go, it brought up all of this stuff with my ego and pride. I have so much pride. Like when I want to do something, I want to do it well, giving myself grace and all of that. But I do have pride. I am an Enneagram too. And I was hoping to get some form of response from the channeling work that I was doing, and I have such a small audience online, like I just wasn't really seeing anything, and it made me just want to be a little turtle and crawl back into myself and be like, I'm just going to go practice some more. I needed to step out in order for all of these different triggers to come up, in order for me to like go back within myself to work on the triggers in order to then be ready to come out again. And since leaving social media and getting off of meta products for the most part, I've had a previous podcast episode about that, but basically I had one of these things where I was like, I am wasting my time on Instagram and wasting my time on threads. It does not make me feel good about myself. I don't like being on these platforms. And I'm putting a lot of effort into this. I had like over 450 Instagram carousels and reels, and I had just under 200 followers. I had like 190 followers. And I've been doing it for like maybe 2.5 years. And like, other people that are working in the world of energy that are in a similar vibe as me that I resonate with have thousands and thousands of followers. And I'm like, I'm not doing this right. I'm not hitting this right. I didn't hit this at the right time. This isn't for me, or it's just not, it wasn't working, and it definitely was not bringing me clients. And I just really, and then there's all this stuff like authenticity, right? And like me channeling as a semi-trans voice channel and sharing Elisabeth and answering questions as Elisabeth is like, how much more authentic do you want to get? Like, that is who I am. It is the most vulnerable and all of that. And yeah, when nothing came of that, I was sort of like, I can't be here. So my pride, I watched myself retreat and really question and had to really deeply go within to sort of, again, get back to neutral. It's all about working and working and working to continue to get back to neutral within myself and just be like, can I show up for myself loving this because it is a delight to do it for me? Can I show up and do this in a loving way where I'm having a really good time, and if it's fun, that's going to translate, and yada, yada, yada. So I sat there and deleted all but 9 of my Instagram posts. So it took a really long time, but because 450 is a lot. And I decided I wanted to leave a little bit up there because I've written 2 books and both of them lead back to that Instagram page. So I feel like I need to leave something there. And I need to come up with the language and what I want left behind because I haven't done that. But basically everything is just going to be like, go to my website, fredahealing.com, because that's how you can talk to me, because I don't want to go on that platform and I don't want to check it. I just don't want to be on it. It doesn't make me feel good. And I've been off it for the entire month of February, and I am so much happier. I cannot tell you how much happier I am, like infinitely more. I've been doing this podcast now this is my 2nd season, my 2nd year of doing it. And I love doing it because it serves me in so many different ways. I am becoming a better public speaker. I'm getting better at just meeting random people and like making connections, and these are things I genuinely enjoy, and I am making this because I am learning editing, I am learning these things that are good. They're good skills for me to have, and they're things that are good for my growth, and I'm interested in them. But like, if this wasn't serving me on a personal level, I wouldn't do it as much as I do. But because I enjoy it, it is fun for me. So I enjoy creating it. And the social media wasn't feeling like that. So the social media was feeling like bad. It was not helping my mental health. And like, I'm more interesting than that. Like, I'm better than that. I know more than that. Like, I know that my worth and value don't come from those numbers, and I know that it is not representative of the value and impact that I can make in the world. I know that, but then why was it like created these false feelings inside of me that just were like eroding and sneaking up inside of me and sort of like taking, like it was taking a lot more than it was giving. And also, it was hard to disconnect from other people's and other creators' energy. Like, I found myself looking to other creators to see what they have to say about stuff. But meanwhile, like, I have a direct line to God. Like, why am I looking at what other human beings are saying? Like, why don't I just talk to all of the awesome spiritual ascended masters, folks on the other side, God, universe, source, consciousness, creation, like that's who I should be having a conversation with, not checking in on what so and so says about the Schumann resonance. Like, I don't need to know that. Like, my connection needs to be enough, is kind of what I came down to. And like, I don't need exterior things explaining what's happening in the world. Like, I'm beyond needing the validation, but then I would check in with validation with other creators that I admired on the platform. So like, I don't know. It's almost like I needed to just continue to return to myself and get off the platform in order to remember who the fuck I am, if that makes sense. Because it was like taking. It's just really taking. Meta doesn't need 450 pieces of content from me. It just simply doesn't. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't need it. I feel like I had patience with Instagram for a lot of periods of times. That first year, I was like really learning how to do stuff. But the second year, mostly I felt like a loser because I did learn how to make videos. I did learn how to do the music and the writing and do the whole thing. And like, I thought my content was poppin'. It was good. And like, I don't know. Yeah. I work on my solar plexus chakra all the time. I'm very like in tune with that. I have really excellent self-esteem, and it's something I really, really work on. Because I hated myself for so long, working on having high self-esteem is really, and self-love is extremely important to me. And that's another thing about social media. It made me doubt myself. So I think it's better to just disengage and not be there. My grandmother was the most patient woman in the world. My grandmother on my mother's side. She was a special needs education teacher. And when I was growing up, I would play games with her, and the two of us loved to play Parcheesi, or, well, she played Parcheesi with me. And she helped me with reading. I had a lot of dyslexic style tendencies when I was a young person, and she really helped me with my reading and writing. And yeah, really patient. And she would help me with a lot of creative pursuits and was so patient with me to just be present and sit with a child while they explore and investigate on their own and be available for assistance and help when needed, but also letting the kid figure stuff out and just explore. And like the way that she interacted with me is a way that I like to approach hanging out with children or working with kiddos in my adult life, and that is being present to them, but not being overpowering, over-engaging, and but being present in a way where I am available if needed, but also letting the young person work with the materials and figure stuff out on their own. And to then having engaging conversations about choices that are made and whatnot and whatnot. And it takes a certain level of patience to be curious about what is going on with in the process that a kiddo might be exploring with materials. That is another level of patience that sometimes it is easier to cultivate than other times. Sometimes I find, like, when I would work at the Ferry Building, we'd help like 200 to 500 kids like over the course of 8 hours, and I would offer free crafting down at the Ferry Building in San Francisco. And I did this for years. I've actually quit doing that practice because I wanted to fully just only pursue this energy work. And ultimately it took more than it was giving. It was a good paying job, but it took me too long. I'd need like an entire other day to recover afterwards, and like pulling people out of my body, removing the energy from it. I'm just too sensitive for that kind of work anymore. Anyway, some times and some children were easier to be patient with and to chat with them and to watch them and see what they were doing and like be encouraging in their creation process. Some children I found that to be really easy to do that with, and other kids I felt myself be really impatient with, and it was probably the way that they were attacking the materials or the way that they were coming to them or exploring. Some of the children's energy would just vibe with mine easier than others. Yeah. There's actually a child that's in my neighborhood that often talks to me, and like I find this child incredibly annoying, and I have like very little to no patience for them. Which makes me sad because I love kids and I'm interested in children, but I guess I'm not interested in all children. Because this kid kind of like, listen, when I pull up and he's like out playing, like sometimes I'll like pretend to take a phone call. So I'm like on the phone so I don't have to like talk to him, because he always comes up to me and always wants to talk. And he doesn't talk to me, he talks at me. And like, that's okay as a child quality, but for some reason, I don't know, this kid just like, they're just not that great. Over New Year's, I confessed this to one of my friends who has kids, and she laughed, but I was listening to myself say it, where I was like, I hide from this child, like I hear them, and I'll like shut the windows so I don't have to hear them. Right? Oh my God. So, I confessed this to her when I came back from holiday. I made a conscientious choice. I was going to try to be a little bit more patient and a little more kind to this child this year. It's one of my intentions for the new year, to be a little bit more generous with my energy towards this child. Patience. All right. So I've got a little off track. So let's go back here. Patience. Trust the higher forces of life to know what is best for you, and remember that when you are asked to wait, you are being prepared for something even better than you expected. Whew. Come to Return to Self-Love. I want to invite you to my monthly meditation program, Return to Self-Love. We meet every Tuesday morning from 6 to 7 a.m., and it is a meditation, light work, activation. It is going to teach you how to have a spiritual practice of your own, and it is a great community, and I would love to invite you to join. Visit my website, fredahealing.com, where you can register to sign up. Elisabeth and I are offering donation-based channeling sessions. Go to my website, fredahealing.com, and you're going to see Elisabeth as one of the services I have. No, it's across. Elisabeth has her own tab. Anyway, you can pick a date, you can make a donation, and then let's get on a Zoom call together, and you can do a one-on-one with Elisabeth. We are doing that donation-based at this time because we are still practicing together, and I love experiencing her and others in energy and answering questions and all that kind of fun stuff. But it is still new. It's never failed. She's always come through and it's been awesome. But, you know, as I first get started here, this is what feels right. This is what I want to offer. All right, friends. I love you so much. God, Universe, Source loves you. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.